Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you've got Daryl here from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, and we are live right now on an international broadcast, broadcasting to all four corners of the world. Guys, what I want to do here tonight is I want to do a little bit of millionaire mentoring. I want to find out a little bit more about each one of your visions as to why you got into this business in the first place. What is your really true driving force, okay? Now, what I'm going to ask you to do, guys, is I'm going to ask you to be a little bit vulnerable here. And I'm not going to, you don't have to, tell me how much money you've got in your bank account to the penny. But I'm going to ask you some questions tonight, and the more open and honest that you can be with me, I'm happy to be open and honest too, right? So if we can communicate the best possible way, is I always say the truth is the best solution, right? Because I can help you the most if I understand more about what your reality currently looks like, right? And once I understand that, I can sort of project into your reality to figure out a strategy. Does that make sense, guys?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's an example. So if I know, as an example, that your combined household income is, say, $5,000 a month or $6,000 a month, roughly. It doesn't have to be to the penny or anything, right? And I know that you have X amount of hours per day and per week. We can start to sort of roll out a strategy for you so that you're going to be able to make more money the fastest possible way. Okay, does that make sense, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is I want to start with Roger. So, Roger, what I want for you to do in the beginning is I want you to tell me what caused you to come out of the gate and put down $4,000 because you're black card right now, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So what did you see? What happened? What was that burning fire that got inside you that you went, you know what? I'm doing this. I'm going all in. Tell me about it.
All right. Well, basically, I guess for me, I guess I started feeling like it's time that I wanted to do my own thing. Like I wanted to branch out on my own. I started to feel like pretty soon I'll be doing my own business, and also I had some experience with a previous program, Explosion, and so I was building some momentum with that, and then well, I mean, Explosion had some history and that kind of thing, and it didn't work out well the way I thought it would have worked out. But we had a team, and almost immediately when everybody kind of was wondering what to do next, this opportunity with iPass came, and just doing a comparison between the two, I saw a huge improvement in terms of how the platform was, in terms of how the back office was, the whole approach, everything seemed a lot more professional, a lot more like they did a lot more front end went into it, and I was impressed with it, and it was straight business, and I like that. It didn't have any kind of it was focused on business, on starting your own business. And well, I guess watching the different the videos on how they describe the business, it just made sense, and I just started to feel that, all right, you see this one, I think this one is something that I could go the distance with. And yeah, I guess I really felt it, and I really appreciated the blog part of it.
Okay.
I think I appreciated, and I saw a kind of I saw real potential with the blog, especially when I sat in on one of the live calls. And
Okay.
I guess you kind of just feel the energy from the different people. And I was doing some of my own research, and independently, I came upon I think it was the couple that they basically travel the world. I think he likes to surf, and he uses a Wi-Fi signal from his phone or something like that, a hotspot from his phone, and he does his blog, and he and his wife are in it. I trying to remember the name of the couple,
That's the
but
unstoppable family.
yeah, that's them.
Yeah.
And he actually called in on the call, and that just kind of it just kind of brought it. It made it very real for me, because I was following this guy and checking out his stuff, and then he came on the call, and then it was like, okay, this really real. This guy on the call, he talking, and they had another guy there. He was also an engineer. I'm an engineer, so I started to make some connections there, and that's when I started to feel a kind of momentum. And I was
Okay.
thinking this blog thing, I think I could definitely see myself, throw myself into it, and
Okay.
into some
So
the
basically,
passions that I have.
so it was really the unstoppable family,
Yeah,
and you saw them as living the type of lifestyle that you want for your family.
yes, yeah,
Ah, okay. Now we're
yeah,
talking. Now we're talking. Okay,
yeah,
great. Now I'm getting it. Okay. So you're mentioning that you're an engineer,
yeah,
and does your wife work?
yeah. She's also an engineer.
Okay, so you got two engineers in the family, and do you have kids?
Yeah, 3 kids.
Okay, you got three kids, and how old are your kids?
6, 4, and 2.
Oh wow, that's great. That's great. I got a son that's 15 and
Wow.
at 2 years old. I gotta tell you that was probably like one of my favorite times.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
He was
yeah.
right around that age. I used to take him. I would slick his hair back like he was like he was in Wall Street, and I would put this this white shirt with this kind of vest, right, with the tie and everything, and I would dress him up with these shiny shoes and stuff, and I would take him to these five-star restaurants, and we just had a blast, right? We had a blast. I loved that time. It was phenomenal. Okay, so so I'm starting to understand more about the lifestyle that you want.
Yeah.
Okay, and what I want to find out a little bit more about is what type of time can you put? I'm talking about actual committed investment time into your business consistently. Because if there's no consistency, you're not going to have success with this model. Okay,
Yeah,
you got to understand that.
yeah,
So give me an
definitely.
idea. What sort of time can you invest into your business?
Um, I think that's part of my problem now, the consistency part, because my job have me changing locations, and depending on what location I'm working at that point in time in the day, it would determine what time I get home in the night. And it that I kind of trying to get that kind of ironed out. And also the company I'm working for, well, all of us working for on this call, well, obviously except you, the company itself going through a kind of transition, a downsizing, and we work for a client that downsizing, and so I don't know, I think that the phase I'm at right now, it's hard to say. I definitely know 100% consistency is important, and having that time every day to put into this. So trying to get a strategy. Well, first of all, I'm trying to iron out my time.
Okay.
Um,
So,
and
so because what I want to do is I want to be able to help you
yeah,
be able to come up with a couple of strategies
yeah,
that can work within your realm of stuff. Because I'm going to talk to you tonight about some strategies.
yeah.
Okay. So what I want to know from you is, have you gone through Unstoppable Vision?
No.
Okay. Do you have right now a three-dimensional vision board of any type? Have you gone through any of my training in that regard?
Um, in, in terms of your training, you mean specific,
I talk about in my training a lot about getting emotionally connected to your vision and your dream.
right, yeah. I did, I looked at one of your videos you did for New Year's. It was a couple of years back, and you went
Yes.
through. You probably compressed some of the training into one, but it was like a full start to finish kind of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's unstoppable vision. So
Yes. Okay.
here's what I'm feeling. Okay, here's what I'm feeling because I can I don't know what they call it. It's like an empath or whatever. Like when you're talking about your reality, I can go into your world, right, and then my body, I can feel what's going on in your reality, right.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what you've got a couple of challenges, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Here's what your challenges are. Number one is that the business is outside of you. So here's you, and then you've got this business that's outside of you, right?
Yeah.
You have to take that and bring it inside of you, right? You got to realize that the business is you, okay? It's not something other than you. It's not
Yeah.
outside of you,
Yeah.
right? This business model is actually leadership, and the product is you. You are the product here. Okay, so it's not some other thing. Okay, because the product that we're marketing is being a leader. That's what the product is, right? So
Yeah.
most people get into these businesses and they don't get that concept. They don't understand this is a leadership business model. So if you aren't taking specific action steps so that you can rise into leadership,
Yeah.
right? You will never make big money in this type of a business model.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've got to understand that as the foundation. Okay. Now, here's what I will tell you. In the beginning, this is one of the reasons why I wanted to do this today for Jason. Okay, because Jason is taking a leadership role. So Jason is taking actions
Mm-hmm.
like a leader takes actions.
Yeah.
Right? That's why I'm here today. Because Jason's stepping up to a leadership role. So
Yeah.
I want to help him to take his business to because he's ready to go to the next level now, right? Now, in the beginning, when you first start in leadership, this right here is being a leader, just assembling people. That's the first step of leadership, right?
Yeah.
The first step of leadership is just to get good at what's called the art of the invitation, right? That's what you got to master first, right? You got to get good at rapport.
Yeah.
You got to get good at finding things in common, changing people's state, getting people to laugh, right? That's the first phase, right? And piquing people's curiosity so that they will just show up for something, whatever it is, whether it's a boardroom meeting or getting people over for a wine and cheese party, whatever, right? If you can get good at that part, right, that's phase one of leadership. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
what you're actually doing is you're leveraging off of another leader, right? And as you're leveraging off of another leader, right, you're learning. Make sense?
Yeah.
Right? So it's like almost like I just went to Maui, right, for a couple weeks, and imagine you're sitting by the pool, right, and it's hot, and you take some suntan lotion and you put it on your arm and you go like this, right? First, the whole arm's going to go white, right? The lotion's going to go right across, right? The whole arm's going to go white, and then you're going to rub it. It's still white. It's still white. It's still white. It's lighter. It's lighter. It's lighter. It's lighter. Now it's gone. Now it's into the skin, right? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what you got to understand is that leadership happens almost through osmosis, right? So once you understand the language, once you understand the questions, it makes it really, really easy to just all of a sudden say the same questions too, and poof, you're a leader now, right? Make sense?
Okay.
Right? Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay. So right now, I can tell you that there's a couple of missing links in your whole reality, okay?
Yeah.
The first missing link is that you believe, this is just my perception, I may be wrong, right? And if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong, but you in your reality are actually separate from the business. Like, here's you're the engineer guy, and then you've got this other thing that's out there, right, of this other business thing, right?
Yeah.
It's not part of you, right?
Yeah.
Now, when you take, like, when my very first mentor said to me, he said, Darren, you will know when you really understand this business model, because all you will have to do is walk into a room. That's it. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to open your mouth. You don't have to do anything. You just walk into a room, and your energy force will go over across all those people, and even people that are looking the other way will stop, and they will turn around to see who just came in. That's when you get this business. Because the business is personal development. The business is leadership, right? And that's an energy force, more so than anything, right? So what you've got to understand is that that will start to happen the moment that you get connected emotionally to your dream, right? Now, this is one of the reasons why I tell people to go sit in a Bentley. People say, oh, I'm not a materialistic person. I don't care. Doesn't matter, right? Sit in a car that's worth $350,000 and let your cells of your body surrender to the wealth, right? Because between you and the reality that you're in and the reality that you want to be in, right, that has to occur, just so you know. Your cells of your body have to relax. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, you know, what I encourage people to do is to go through the unstoppable vision and create an actual vision. You know, so if money was no object, right, would you be living in the same house or a different house?
Oh, you're asking me?
Yeah.
I might have another house.
You'd
I
have
mean,
another house.
yeah, I'm happy with this, but I'd probably have like a vision of beach house. You know, so
Okay.
I'd probably have a house on the beach that I could go on the weekend, you know?
Okay. So
Yeah.
here's what I will tell you.
Yeah.
These are the things that you need to start to ask yourself. Okay.
Yeah.
So, you know, if I was to all of a sudden, you know, hand you $500,000, right? Number one, where is the beach house? You know, how many bedrooms does it have?
Yeah.
How many square feet is it? Right? Is it 1 story, 2 stories? You know, how close to the water is it? You
Yeah.
need to start looking for the beach house,
Yeah.
right? So as that starts to happen, other forces are involved here, Roger. This is like, you know, some, you know, amazing magic formula. I can tell you this for fact, right?
Yeah.
This is how I got my first Porsche 996, right? I went to the car dealership every single week for 11 months. Every week, no joke, right? And I went through a whole exercise. I actually went and met with the sales manager, and I told him if I didn't come, that I was going to lose my job, right? Because I needed to get him on side with me so that I didn't feel like I was being a nuisance to the dealership. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So in order for me to do that, guess what I had to do? Surrender my ego, which is the first stage to be able to advance to the next level, right?
Yeah.
In the reality, right? You got to surrender your pride, surrender your ego, right? And be coachable. Same thing with what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
So I went and I met with the sales manager, and I sat down in his, across from the desk, and I introduced myself. I said, my name's Darren Little. I just wanted to get a chance to chat with you for a couple minutes just to let you know that I'm vice president at this company, and one of the assignments for my job, right, is I have to come to this dealership once a week. And I have to spend about 5 or 6 minutes doing a visualization in this particular car, and I really hope that I can get your support here, because if I don't, I'm going to get fired. Right? That takes a lot to say that to somebody, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So I did that, though. So I opened up a gateway where I felt comfortable walking in freely, like I didn't feel like I was being judged. And keep in mind, I was driving up in a 1989 Pontiac Firefly, and the car wasn't even mine. I didn't have a car. I didn't have a car, man. I was borrowing a friend's car because I was financially broke.
Okay.
Okay? But I had a title. I was vice president of marketing, right? I was making $5,000 a month plus some stock options, right? Wasn't a lot of money, right? But I had a vision.
Yeah.
I had a vision and I had a dream. And all the stuff that I'm telling you guys to do, I really went through this. I still do all this stuff.
Yeah.
Right? I still do the vision board. I still talk about the wave particle theory. I still do proclamations every day. I speak my reality into existence constantly.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So the first thing is you need to get a vision board done. It's mandatory, right? Now in that training, I talk about I am proclamation statements.
Yes.
Right? Now a lot of people will say, well, Darren, give me the income producing activities. Those are the income producing activities. So if you don't have a vision board and you don't have a list of proclamations and you're not speaking your reality into existence, right? You're already disconnected. You're apart from your dream. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right? So if you don't have pictures of the beach house, it doesn't matter if right now you can actually cut a check for it. You've got to know what it is. Where's the general location that you want? How many bedrooms? What's the down payment that you need? And what's the monthly mortgage payment? Because if you don't have that, you don't even have a starting point to get to the next level of your reality. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to now give you $500,000, and are you going to be driving the same car or a different car?
I'll be in a different car.
Okay, what kind of car?
Well, I have a Subaru now. I mean, I like Subaru, so I might upgrade it. I might definitely just upgrade it, So I have like a 2006. I'll probably go for I think it's the 2012 is the latest out right now, so I guess I would see myself in that.
Okay. So and is it what color would that be?
I think I would see it in red.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, there's a little bit of homework that you've got to do.
Yeah.
Okay? You need to go through Unstoppable Vision. You need to get a vision board done, right? There's a specific strategy of putting down the nature first, right?
Yeah.
make sure that there's horizon lines so that you create distance, right?
Yeah.
So from the foreground to way off in the horizon, right? You want a bunch of nature shots as your base because that's going to give you your depth, right? Does it make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay. So you need your vision board, you need your proclamations, your I am proclamation. Now there's a difference between an affirmation and a proclamation. An affirmation is like, I'm driving an Aston Martin. It's positive, but a proclamation is emotional. Big difference, right? Now proclamations, I typically will do standing up, right? So, you know, if I was going to say, you know, I'm driving an Aston Martin, I would be like, I'm driving an Aston Martin, right? Your whole body's involved there, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and you want to get down to the Subaru dealership, right? You want to get a brochure. You want to find out what your down payment is and what your monthly payment is on that vehicle.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All of this stuff is your foundation, right? Now, in the event that you're finding that you don't have a lot of time to be able to, you know, sit down, come up with an idea, create a blog post, blah, 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 blah. Don't focus on that, okay?
Okay. Okay.
Focus on video, and I'll tell you why. First of all, video is going to give you way better branding as a leader, right? Because people will be able to hear you, right? So when you're talking about video, you want to realize that everybody in the home-based business industry is really on a path of personal development, okay? That's the business model, okay? So the more that you can talk about things to do with mindset, with fear, with breaking through fear, with things that are all the problems that people have, like procrastination, right, is a big problem in the industry, right? Taking enough massive action on the front end to break inertia, right? Most people, there's literally an invisible barrier wall like this, okay? And this energy coming at it has to be so hard that it just goes wham, right? And that it opens up that gateway. If the front end inertia is not big enough, here's what happens. It goes, blah, 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 right? Blah, 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 blah. Never get liftoff.
Yeah.
Right? It's like a magnet that's pushing against this way, and if you don't have a massive amount of momentum, forget about it.
Yeah.
So if I reach out to a person and I say, tell me about your business, right? And they go, well, I got this one guy. Okay, you're broke, right? Right? If it's something like that, forget about it, right? Don't even bother it because you'll never make it, right? You will never ever make it. Well, I talked to this one guy. He's sort of interested. Okay, forget it. You're broke, right? So basically, what you need to understand about video is you want to say, okay, what are all the problems that people are having in the industry? Okay.
Yeah.
So fear of rejection is pretty big.
Okay.
That cripples people, right?
Yeah.
So if you go through my webinar on connecting with prospects, you'll find that if I say, hey, Roger, how's it going? How's your day going so far? There's no possible way that you can reject me. It's not possible.
Yeah.
Right? How's your day going so far? You can't say, I'm not interested. Right?
Yeah.
I don't want any of that, right? Because I'm not selling you anything.
Correct.
Right? Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So when it comes to networking in general, okay, what you've got to understand about the model, whether or not you're blogging or whether or not you're doing video or whether or not you're doing you know, a home presentation or whatever, okay, a conference call, something or someone other than you is going to talk about your business, not you.
Okay.
Okay? The only thing you're talking about is the person. Okay? So I might say to you, you know, we're getting to talking, you know, we're just, you know, shooting the shit or whatever, and I might say, you know, so Roger, I mean, what's your vision? Like, what do you really want?
Yeah.
Right? That's a great conversation. Just general people have that type of conversation, right?
Yeah.
So I might say to you, you know, hey Roger, you know, I mean, if all of your bills were paid for you each month, what would you be doing with your time? That's a good question. That's a good conversational question. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah.
Right? So what am I talking about? I'm talking about your vision, your dream. Right
Yeah.
now, as I start talking about it, I get goosebumps on my arms. Right? As I start talking about this stuff,
Yeah.
I get waves of energy that start going through my body because this is a gateway, Roger.
Yeah.
This is a gateway. And if you get it, this same thing will start happening for you. If you get that this isn't about pitching people on products, you've got to turn the magnet around. It's called the polarity of the magnet, okay? And I want to pull information from you. I'm not selling you anything. I want to pull information out of you, right? And get you to the point where you either identify to me some sort of a problem,
Yeah.
sort of pain factor, right, that
Yeah.
you're in, right? It could be emotional pain, spiritual pain, relationship pain, not enough time with your kids pain. It could be that you really want to travel, but your job is holding you down with the ball and chain pain, credit card pain, mortgage pain. What type of pain do you have?
Yeah.
Right? And once I have got that, now I'm on this leverage point, a teeter-totter, right? And once the pain gets so much, womp, right? Now all I've got to do is ask a couple of questions, pique your curiosity, and get out of the way, right? So, you know, when I'm on chat, as an example, I'll get to a point where I'm with the person where I'm like, I've identified their pain, like, you know, like I'll talk about this lifestyle that I'm having, and then I'll say, you know, do you get to travel much? And the person will be, well, I really want to travel, but I don't have any money, right? So now I've got leverage,
Yeah.
right? But that's not enough just to get to that point. I'll say, well, when you talk about travel, where do you want to travel to?
Yeah.
Because I want to connect them to their dream, right? Make sense?
Yeah.
Once I get them connected to their dream. So they say they want to go to Philippines. Okay, now I want to know how long they want to go and what's that trip going to cost. Because now I've got way more leverage.
Yeah.
They say that their trip's going to cost them, you know, $7,000, right?
Yeah.
And I'm going to say, you know, well, could you use an extra 10 grand a month? Would that help? Now, if that person says, you know, no, not really, I go, cool, what do you got planned for the weekend? Right? I've got no emotional attachment to it at all. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay, so what happens is in casual conversations, once you understand the polarity of the magnet, what you'll find is that there's way more people out there than you even possibly realize that are in pain right now.
Yeah.
But nobody takes the time to get to this where they open up, right? So the secret is finding 3 things in common in 5 minutes. You
Yeah.
get good at this, poof, total strangers will start telling you their life story, man. I'm telling you. They'll tell you that they're exactly to the penny how much they're in debt, how much their college tuition is going to cost that they don't have the money for, the money they need for vacation, their parents being sick, hospital bills. They will tell you everything, right? Okay. So when you're talking about video, what I typically tell people to do until you start practicing this a little bit more is just to take out a piece of paper, okay? Piece of paper.
Yeah.
And write down before you even start your video, okay? So say, okay, what's the problem that I'm going to talk about, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to talk about, procrastination.
Yeah.
How procrastination is, one of the cancers of the industry. So I'm going to, first of all, identify the problem I'm going to address, right?
Right.
And I'm going to talk about the fact that I've got some solution to it, but I'm going to dangle something out here, right? And then I'm going to let people get an opportunity to know me a little bit. And at the very end, I'm going to give them a little bit, and then I'm going to tell them where they can get the rest of it.
Right.
Right? Now, don't you think that if people are tapped into our inner circle, right, which is their 7-figure mindset training, and they were listening to those audios every single day, and that was part of their income-producing activities, right, they would become a better person, they would become a better leader, they would have way more content to be able to talk about because they're tapped into the 7-figure formula, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the inner circle audios are mandatory. And you can listen to those at lunchtime, you can listen to those on the travel time, to and from work, in traffic, whatever, right? So the inner circle literally is the pulse to your business. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So people say, well, Darren, I don't have a lot of time to do the business. Well, remember, what was the business again?
Self-development.
You're the business, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you're the business and you're listening to the inner circle audios, aren't you working on your business?
Yeah.
Right? You are, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So make it like your baseline, right? The inner circle is literally going to be your best friend. Make that part of your baseline.
Yeah.
You and your whole team. That inner circle, if you don't do anything, you don't do any blog or whatever, okay, forget about that right now. Let's talk about the business. This is the business.
Yeah.
Right? And the more that you work on this, right, the easier it's going to be for you to morph into becoming a leader. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So the inner circle is actually investing in your business, but just by listening to those audios, okay? So that's number one.
Yeah.
You actually have the top producer formula as a black card member, and what I would recommend doing is actually charging up your laptop and even putting your laptop in your car with an earbuds and driving, listening to the top producer formula, right? That is an income-producing activity, right? Listening to the top producer formula, because something's going to happen, okay? And I don't know when it will be. It might be on day 3, it might be on day 5, it might be 10 days in, but I'm telling you that something happens in here, internally, in your body.
Yeah.
Like a switch goes off, okay? Literally, like some internal thing, switch goes off internally in the physiology in your power chakra, okay? Something will go off inside your body, and you're going to go, ah, now I get this. Now I get this.
Okay.
Okay, so Darren, do you mean to say that if I'm working on the business, right, that it's going to be very, very easy for me to open people up by speaking to the listening, right, speaking to their pain, connecting with their pain through video, connecting with their pain through blogs, connecting with their pain through Facebook, right? if you can be open and be okay with being vulnerable, right? What you'll find is that human beings are mirrors. And when you open up over here, they open up to you over here.
Yeah.
Because they work like mirrors, right? So here's an example. So when I started to talk about my son being 2 years old,
Mm-hmm.
and slicking his hair back and putting him in a little outfit and a little vest and the shiny shoes and taking him to a 5-star restaurant, right? Did you notice how that affected you in what I was talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, so as I opened up, right, to talk about something to do with actually you, right, because I wanted now to be able to reflect on that, so you go, oh, I get it now.
Yeah.
I did that on purpose because I want for you to understand this. And now you can look back on it and remember, because your physiology started to change, right? Your face, everything else, right? It's a whole, you lit up,
Yeah.
right? That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Those are finding a few things in common. And the moment that you're talking about that type of similarity, guess what happens? Synchronicity, like this,
Yeah.
right? Synchronicity, right? So what I want for you to realize here is that everybody out there that's in the conventional business model that's being taught to make a list of their friends and family, okay? For a person to really make money at that business model, they have to be at a high level of personal development. That's why I tell people that this industry really is personal development disguised as a business, right? And they have to learn that it's not about pitching, it's about connecting, right? And it's about finding about the other person's vision, dreams, goals, desires, passions, right? Not about, have I got a deal for you, right? It's a different type of energy force, and that's called the polarity of the magnet, right? Now, the interesting thing is that you know, having been in both models, like I've done both, right? When I first started in my 20s, that's all I knew. That's all. I didn't know anything else, right? But I got really good. I realized that if I could change a person's state and get them to laugh, right? Right when we were both coming down off the laugh, people's body, just so you know, when two people are laughing, their bodies synchronize. Okay, if you didn't know that, you know that now, okay? And I call that accessing the vault. Accessing the vault, right? This is how I raise venture capital, right? So if two people are laughing, as they're coming down off the laugh, that's my gateway right there, right? So it'd be like, you know, where I'm joking about something. It's like, oh man, that's good. Oh God. Hey Roger, just out of curiosity, do you know anybody right now that you can think of that's either in between careers or that's underpaid at their job? Now, before that person has a chance to answer, I'd be like, you know, I'm just heading up an international expansion right now. I'm looking for a couple key people right now for my rollout. You know, typically first year they're looking at between 150 and 200. Second year, 300 grand. Can you think of anybody off the top of your head that might be a fit that I can get in front of? That's networking. Now, what does that have to do with anything? A product, a business, whatever. It doesn't have. I'm not pitching them on anything, right? So knowing how to do that, I use that same strategy there for raising money, for hiring management, for getting board of directors, for doing sponsorship deals, for doing joint venture contracts. It's all that same model, okay? So in the event that you're a CEO, right, which is the front man, the bulletproof guy, right, That's how real companies are built, just so you know, right? That's how I've built every company that I've ever done. So what I have to typically do when I'm rolling out a company, I have to find certain people. I got to find a chief executive officer, I got to find a chief financial officer, and I got to find a chief operations officer. I typically will take vice president of marketing, right? So if I have a concept or an idea, I need those key people, right? Before I can do anything, before I can even go out and raise money, right? I have to have that pod, that 4 people, right? That's critical, right? So if you understand that, it will take your business to a different level, because you've got to be that. When I talk about being RoboCop, I'm not kidding. I'm real serious when I say you want to go from where you are to millionaire, and you're doing visualization. Be RoboCop, because that's who people will follow into battle. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. And all of that's going to be fed by the inner circle audios, right? So you want to have that as your, right, your carrot.
Yeah.
So anything that people are dealing with, they're dealing with the, rejection. They're dealing with procrastination. They're dealing with the fact that they don't have any goals or vision or dream or, all these things. You just make a whole list. Each one of those can be 2, 3, 4, 5 different videos, right? You can break it down and go, okay, I'm going to talk about, guys, just so you know, for the next week, I'm going to be talking about 5 key principles that you can implement into your life today to completely eliminate procrastination from your life. But before I get into that, let me tell you a little bit about myself and how I got started in this industry. Right? See how that works?
Yeah.
So I got a problem up front, and now they get a chance to know me a little bit. So now they're waiting for this, right? Well, that sounds pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Now they're glued to their screen, right? Well, that sounds good, right? And now you loop back around and you talk about a little bit of it, but you talk about how they can get the real goods on the other side of your lead capture page.
Yeah.
That's how you build your list, right? Now, the inner circle, and I'm telling you that if you guys get this tonight, okay, your life will completely change. Okay? Your life will completely change. Because what people don't get is the building blocks in networking. Okay? They don't understand it. Okay, and I'm going to show you guys how this works. Okay, so what I'm going to do, let's say that a person is only marketing an inner circle concept, right? Because the inner circle, just so you guys all know, is the gateway, right? That's your gateway, is your inner circle, okay? So I'm talking about the fact that you have a blog where you've got a hub that you can post your videos on, right? And you've got your inner circle audios that are going to work on what? The business.
Yeah.
This is the business right here, okay? The physiology in your body, right? And the vibrational resonance that's going on internally, okay? So it's thought, directed emotion that generates feeling. That's the secret, okay? And it works for everything you want and everything that you don't want. Okay, and you're riding a tightrope between 2 realities. Over here is everything you want, over here is everything that you don't want. Okay? This is critical, guys. I'm telling you this. Okay, so let's say that my business, okay, in order to put people into momentum. Now keep in mind, guys, the average price of a business is 500 bucks, okay, around the world. The average entry price of any type of legitimate business is $500, average, right? Some of them are even higher, okay, but the average is 500. $500 is something that people can come up with, okay? But let's even go less than that, okay? So let's talk about how are you going to really get going. Here's how it is. Number one, you got $97 pro level in iPass 2, okay? That's 97 bucks, right? You need to get the six-figure shortcut, which is $197, but that's only a one-time, okay? So now you're at 300 bucks right there, okay? You need an autoresponder for 15. You're at 315. You need a inner circle, right? A blog and the affiliate fee. Okay, it's under 500, but I'll show you how this whole thing works. Okay, so from an income standpoint, okay, $97 pays $50 a month. Okay, 50 bucks. Okay, every time you bring in somebody into your inner circle, you're going to make 50 bucks. Okay, every time they purchase the blog and the inner circle training, you're going to make $87.50. Okay, so plus $87.50. Okay, so you're making $137.50 per person per month. Okay? You guys got that so far?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Here's what I want for you to understand. That is the business. Okay? Plus, every time they buy the six-figure shortcuts, you're making another 100. Okay? So you're making $237.50 on the front end plus $137.50 per month. Okay? $237.50 on the front, $137.50 every month. Okay. Mm-hmm. So now let's go like this. Okay. Do you realize if I can put together a team of just 42 people, 42, I can make my first 10 grand. Okay, 42 people. See that? 42. This is how you start to chunk things down, okay? Now, I can tell you guys this. If you want to get to a $10,000 monthly residual income, right, and you make it a goal to compartmentalize this stuff, because I can tell you to get 42 people, even only on a 10%, right, if I have 420 conversations, just casual conversations, no pitching, no hype, nothing. Okay, that's very possible. So watch this. 420 divided by 30. That's 14 connections in any given day. Okay. Now, if I had that for a 30-day period of time, but my subconscious mind is focused on 42, 42, 42, 42. Okay? I put 42 everywhere. Everywhere, guys. Do a background thing on your phone that says 42 on it. Put it on your rear view mirror in your car. Put it on your bathroom mirror. Put it on your fridge. 42, right? Now, here's what I will tell you that's really cool about this type of a business with the Empower Network side. If I take my 8750, right, which is the blog and the mindset, okay, I've got now. So let's. I'm gonna take away the 97, and I'm gonna take away the other part for the six-figure shortcuts, right, or the 50 and all the rest of that stuff, right. I'm just gonna work with 8750. 10,000 divided by 87.5 equals 114. Okay. Now, this does not include iPass, guys. Okay, so there are two separate things here. Okay, the business, which is the inner circle and the blog, which is going to affect this, right? The business, right? And iPass, which is going to build your list, right? And start to pay for your marketing and advertising budget, right? They're two separate units, right? They interact, but they're two separate units. My 114, okay, my 114 people, I can now divide that by 3, and I'm down to 38. That means if I have a team of 38 people, right, which is pretty close to the 42, I just want to break this apart so you can understand this. If I have a team of 38 people, right, and I help those people to learn this basic stuff, like what we're doing right here, and they just get qualified. What's qualified? That means they get 5 people on their team. That's it. Only 5. Okay? Now they're going to give you 3 each, right? 1, 3, and 5 are pass-ups, right? So with a small little tiny team on the side of Empower Network of 38 people, and you're going to help those people get qualified with their 5, boom, you're making $10,000 a month, guys. Do you realize that? Okay, now here's what I will tell you. This is what people don't get, okay? You don't think that if you guys were to team up and assemble a group of people anywhere, even if it's on a hangout, or I'm happy to talk to all the people, guys. Okay, I'm happy to log into my back office, show all the stuff. That's what I'm talking about. The first level of leadership is the art of the invitation. Art of edification and art of the invitation. That's level 1 leadership, guys. Okay? So in the event that you bring a whole group of people together, that's what Dave Wood does. Right? So he has all these people bringing people to the Empower Hour. All these people bringing people to Tactical Tuesday. Tonight on the training call, there was almost 800 people. So they all come to get content. Make sense?
Yeah.
Do you realize that this has been the missing component with you guys in your group? Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Okay. This is why it's the first thing, the most important thing that people got to overcome. That's why I tell the story about the car dealership, because what did I say I had to do in order to go see the manager?
Overcoming ego.
Surrender the ego and the pride, right? And that's level 1. That's why people do not succeed. They won't do that, so they can't move forward. So what they want to do instead is they want to try to figure it out all on their own, right? And it's really tough, guys. I'll be honest with you, because there's a significant amount of personal development that has to take place where you morph into being that person. And that includes inner circle every day, guys. Every day, right? The personal development books and stuff every day. What was the business again?
Developing you.
This is the business, guys. Okay, so let me ask you this. Jason, unmute for a sec.
Hey, Darren.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Now that we're talking a lot of this stuff through, can you see some similarities on how you may have perceived in your mind that you're separate from your Empower Network business and the iPass business, and it's not actually you?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you, when I'm explaining this now, did you look at it differently? Can you see it differently now of what I'm talking about?
Yeah, big difference in especially knowing that the business is you. That's self-development. It's really a big difference now. I know even looking at the normal products in iPass and Empower, I still look at it as a product and really trying to blog and stuff like that. But now a different reality now. The business is really yourself, and you have no excuse with time, and you have no excuse about anything again. It's basically you are the business.
You are the business. So what I want for you guys to really understand here is that the more that you work on this, the more that you work on your belief level, the more that you believe. Okay, so I want to explain something to you guys quickly so that you can really get this, okay? Because this changed everything for me in my life, everything. Once I was told this, once I got taught this, I would recommend to watch a movie called What the Bleep Do We Know? What the bleep do we know? Okay? Because it's about quantum physics, guys. Okay? Here's what's really cool. The scientists were trying to figure out, okay, they know that everything's made up of atoms and molecules, right? And they have atoms and the molecules form, and they form, you know, stuff, right? Stuff, right? But they wanted to figure out what are the atoms and the molecules made up of. So they found out that as they went smaller and smaller and microscopic, they found out that they were made up of something called electrons. Okay? But they wanted to find out, well, what are the electrons made up of? Now, there was one group of scientists, and they were working in this laboratory, and they said, you know what? We believe that those electrons are made up of waves of energy. And the waves of energy come together, and they form the electrons, and then the electrons come together, and they form the atoms and the molecules, and the atoms and the molecules form stuff like this, right? Like this. So they go into the laboratory, and they find out that the research comes back 100% conclusive evidence. Those electrons are made up of waves of energy. It wasn't 60-40, it wasn't 50-50, it wasn't 70-30, there was no skewing. That means there was no different thing, right, compared to it's definitely waves of energy, right? But in another area of the world, in another laboratory, another group of scientists believed that those electrons are made up of little tiny particles of matter. And those little tiny particles of matter come together and they form the electrons, and then the electrons come together and they form the atoms and the molecules, and the atoms and the molecules form stuff like this. Guess what magically happened? All the evidence came back 100% conclusive. How could that be possible? How could this one group of scientists have it come up that it's waves of energy, and this group of scientists come back and it's particles of matter? The only difference, guess what it was? What they believed to be true. That means the electrons are in a state of superposition. They haven't decided, guys, what they're going to be. Do you realize that? The electrons have not decided if they're going to be a wave of energy or a particle of matter. Now can you see why I talk about speaking the reality into existence so much? Why those I am proclamation statements are so significant? You guys get the relationship here? The emotion? Why it's so important to be emotionally connected to that broadcast? Does that make sense now? Yeah? Okay. So, what I would suggest doing based upon, your time that you've got, Roger, is that I don't want you to go Well, I think you've got a distinction now that you're the business. So if
Yeah.
you're working on you, you're doing your business.
Yeah.
Right? If you're feeding your mind with audios, you're doing your business. If you're listening to Top Producer Formula, you're doing your business. Now, here's what's going to magically happen when that happens. You're going to find it way easier to go like this with your video camera and do a video. Way easier. Because you're going to be talking about content that you just listened to.
Yeah.
Right? It's fresh. Right? So you have a breakthrough, you write down a couple of notes about the breakthrough, and guess what you're talking about now? Your breakthrough. Right? So if you're having a breakthrough, you didn't have that, say, 15 minutes earlier. So now you can say, guys, you know what? I just had a major breakthrough. Let me tell you about what was going on just 15 minutes ago. This is what was happening in my life. Right? And then I heard this new concept, and it totally shifted everything for me, right? Now, if you're a person that's going through something similar right now, and you want to take your life to the next level, go to .com and opt in so that you can find out more, so that you can never ever have to deal with these problems ever again in your life. That's how you're going to build your list. Does that make sense? That's called marketing, right? Yeah. So what are you actually doing? Your problem, solution, right? Feel, felt, found. What does that mean? You know what? If you've had this problem, I totally know how you feel, right? I had an event happen to me, and I felt the exact same way as you. But here's what I found. Feel, felt, found. Right? That allows you to bridge from the connection over into the solution. Right? Does that make sense, guys?
Mm-hmm.
So once you do that, now you can go like this. Right? Where are they going to get the solution? They're going to get the solution behind door number 1. Right? And that's going to allow you to build your list. Right? Now, what are you going to do? You're going to put out more stuff, right? A little more content, and you're going to lasso those people around, and now you can introduce them to your business partner, me, right? Now you don't have to worry about credibility of whether or not you've made money or not, because all you've got to do is be a good inviter, right? People connector and inviter. That's it. Right? So you can bring those people together and bam, right? I can log into my back office. Do you think that if I'm talking to your people and I'm showing, you know, $400,000 in affiliate commissions and 185 grand in this other thing, you think they might say, hey, I think this might be a good opportunity? Right? Takes the pressure off of you, right?
Oh yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yep.
So does that make sense to you guys? Are you clear on that now?
Yeah.
Can you see how much easier that would be for you to be able to start to get some momentum when your business truly, guys, is you, okay, number 1. Number 2 is that you only need a team of 42 people. 42. Right? In order to make 10 grand. Right? And then once you have that 42, keep in mind that those people now are going to be sending you 1, 3, and 5. Right? That's how you start to get the 10,000 a month going, right? So get your 42 people together in your inner circle, and then those 42 people now are going to start to grow. Make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, if you focus on, you know, the fact of getting 2 people a day, 2 people a day, 2 people a day, and then bringing them all together, right? Here's what I will tell you the reason why the business has not been growing at the pace that you want. This is the first time that we've done something like this right here. So you guys have actually been trying to be the front man, right? when what you really need to be is the people connector and get good at the art of the invitation and get out of the way.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Oh yeah.
You see how that would be way easier to do than all the stuff that you're trying to do?
Yeah, that's a whole new different strategy there. I like that.
It's much easier, guys. Trust me. Like, way easier to do that than all the stuff that you've been trying to do, right?
Yeah.
You know? Okay. So, Shelton? You're muted there, buddy. It's right at the top.
Yeah, let's take off the mute.
Yeah, try.
Okay, there.
Yeah, we hear you now.
Okay.
Okay, so Shelton, really quickly here, whereabouts, or how long have you been involved, first of all?
Approximately a year plus.
A year plus.
Yeah.
How's that possible? We just started like 4 or 5 months ago.
No, actually, before I was into the iPass, I was into Explosion also.
Oh, okay. So you're including Explosion in there. Okay.
Yeah.
How long have you been involved with iPass 2 and Empower Network?
To be honest, I came across the system through an email, and I joined into it. But because of the amount of videos it had, I couldn't take the time to go through it, and I canceled the subscription. Then Jason come and told me that he came across it because you mentioned it to him.
Okay.
So I decided was to take the time to go through all the videos, was to join into the system and go through all the videos and stuff. So it was just like a few weeks after Jason was in, I jumped into it also.
Okay. So guys, here's what I will tell you. In the event that you guys can get good at the connecting part, the rapport part, to identify the pain part, piquing the curiosity part, and getting out of the way part, right? This is how I went from a flat start in Explosion, right, to $12,000 in 40 days. This right here, this is how I did it.
Okay.
Right? It's very easy, because if we were actually live, right now with a whole group of people, I would have a couple of slides that would help those people to really understand the power of what we're dealing with. I might even be in a situation where I take one of the shorter videos from iPass and use my screen share and just have people watch like a 6-minute video, right, to show how easy and duplicatable it is. So we got a panel of people here, a panel of people watching that have all been invited, and then I log in, I go into my website, I click in the back office in the marketing center, I play a video that's like 7 minutes, right? And then I come back live, I talk to a little bit of people, I go across the panel across here, I find out more about what they do, right? What's their vision? How much money do they need to be able to leave their job? And I give them an actual blueprint on a calculator. So let's say somebody says they need $5,000. So watch this. I go $5,000 divided by 237.5, 21, right? 21 plus, I'll tab on the 3 for the pass-ups, so their magic number will be 24. Now, when you give somebody a blueprint like that, and they actually have a number, they're leaving with a number. They're thinking like, wow. So here's what I say to people. Have you ever been in a room where you're at a presentation, a seminar, and there's a couple of rows of chairs? And they go, yeah. Okay, imagine this. There's basically, 2 rows of 10 and, a row of 5. There's your gateway to leave your work, to leave your job forever, where you're financially free. right? They can relate to that because the visual picture for them. Does that make sense, guys?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's how I was able to go from 0 to 12,000 in Explosial and hit a high of 17 grand, guys. Just in the time I was with Explosial, I made $185,000 just using this type of a strategy. It's very easy. You know, don't make it complicated. Keep in mind, even if we only did one of these a week, right? One a week. And let's say that you only got 3 or 4 people each, right, on your team. Each person had 3 or 4 people on their team. Now you've got a total of 12 people doing invites. Can you see how that might go up, pretty darn fast? Right? Nobody has to leave their house. You don't have to do a home party. You just get on a Google Hangout. You see how easy that might be?
Yeah.
So now you leverage the team. This is just one concept, guys. It's one idea. But if you're constantly working on this, right, that the part of morphing into leadership is way easier, guys. Way easier. Right? So now you do a video. So what do you do with your video? Right? You load it onto your blog. So now you put a post on Facebook and you just drive the traffic back to your blog. There's your traffic. Right? Now you've also got a YouTube video, right? Because you load it on YouTube. You take that YouTube link and you load it on your blog. And underneath the YouTube, you've got your blog post, your blog link that goes back to your main blog. Even if you just did that, that's all. Okay, so you're going to listen to Inner Circle audio, do a little video on what your breakthrough was, what was the problem, what's the solution, and where can they get more, right? There's going to build your list, right? You're going to post that onto your wall with a link and post the link to your blog on the Facebook, on the YouTube underneath the video, right? That whole process, if you did your video in the morning, it would probably only take you about 30 minutes total for your business per day. Right? That's something that's a little bit more digestible if you think you only have to put 30 minutes in and you're done, right? Yes? So, you know, you can start to work on that type of thing and keep in mind, as you get better, I'm saying 30 minutes when you first start, but as you get better, right, at just taking a link, putting it someplace, it might take you about 12 to 15, like realistically, once you get a little bit accustomed to surfing back and forth between the two sites. You know, YouTube, where's the button to upload? Okay, it's there, right? Upload the video. Okay, that's loading. There's nothing you can do while it's loading. It takes a certain amount of time to load, right? You could be doing something else while it's loading in another browser, right? Once you get a little bit comfortable with that, right, then it will probably take you 12 to 15 minutes into your business investment per night. And even if you were even doing that, you know, 5 times a week and taking the weekend off, you've got a business from that. Does that make more sense? Can you see how you really could, you know, hey, that could really work?
Yeah.
I'm investing into me. That's the business, right? I'm investing into me. I'm talking about my breakthrough, and I'm posting it on my blog, and I've got YouTube providing traffic, and I've got Facebook providing traffic, and I've got my keywords providing traffic off of Google. Right? 3 different sources of traffic. That's all free stuff, guys. It's not even paid money. But what's the core of it? The core of it is feeding this. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm going to just close up and I want to show you this and then we'll wrap. Okay. Okay, so this happened today, guys, and I want to just show you this really quickly. Because this is called storytelling. Okay. Remember I was talking about PowerPoint and, getting good at using this one program? This is an example of, what I'm talking about with that, because if you can just learn how to use this one program, you can make these graphics. These are just, a photo that I uploaded here. This is another photo that I uploaded here, right? And I made this little graphic piece which shows a leaderboard. You could show how many leads you've generated in a certain day, or you could show how many people purchased sales in a certain day, right? But this type of stuff it works to help you build a story around. Okay, so let's look at what happened here today. So I said, today I hit another major milestone. Just 5 months ago, I set out on a mission, right? I typically will use certain words here, guys, so that I can take people into that reality. Can you still see my screen or no?
No, no,
Okay.
I'm not seeing anything.
Okay, hold on a sec. Okay. Okay, so it says, today hit another major milestone. Just 5 months ago, I set out on a mission to be able to start a business from a complete flat start and get into the top 10 on the leaderboard in iPass 2. Today was that day. I logged into my back office to see my name appear on the number 10 spot on the all-time black card sales. I feel so incredibly blessed and humbled at the same time to see my name next to some of the biggest names online, people that I have a huge amount of respect for. Some of these people that I've watched speak on stage and in some cases earn millions and millions of dollars online. I just want to extend my appreciation to all those amazing people, as well as to my friends, my followers, who are here to support and encourage me. Also to my incredible team of leaders inside iPass 2 Profit Maximizers. I appreciate you. This right here is living proof that if you have a dream, that anything is possible. Okay, so it's really, truly, it's about personal development, right? Because that's really all about mindset. But the graphic makes it more interactive. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So look what ends up happening. There's been, I think almost 90 some odd people that have participated in this little back and forth, right? So here's another story. The moment that everything changed for me, it was November of 2014. I had just started my underground marketing campaign. It was an accident, really. I'll be honest, I was just burnt out on doing three-way calls, and I figured there had to be a better way. I wanted to see if it was possible to create an automated income using paid marketing, an autoresponder, and social media. I had seen other people do it, and I figured, why not me? I had bought my first batch of paid traffic for $560. I figured that was a good test. It was 800 qualified buyers that I sent to a lead capture page. I remember I was sitting across the street from my house at this Chinese restaurant. The waitress had just bought me an order of beef and broccoli and a bowl of white rice. My phone was sitting on the right of me on the table. I remember reaching for a fork to take my first bite, and my phone made a sound like someone sent me a text message. I was really, really hungry, so I ignored it, but 45 seconds later it went off again. Then 2 minutes later it went off again, and then it went off again, and then it went off again. What? I remember thinking to myself, who the heck is trying to get a hold of me? I reached for the phone, and I opened up my text message, and there was a stream of people that were taking the 7-day trial, and a few people that had also upgraded and bought the 6-figure shortcuts product. During that lunch, my commissions totaled $75. Was it life-changing income? No, but it was a life-changing moment. Why? because at that moment, I realized that I'd made $75 without doing a single three-way call, without doing a single home party, and I did it while I was eating my lunch. I remember this wave of energy going through my body. More so than anything, it was a wave of relief, because I knew that I'd unlocked a cash flow business model that was scalable, and it happened without me. It was that moment that I realized that 7 figures was possible. It was that moment that I realized that anyone can do what I just did. Since the moment, there's been no looking back. In my mind, I felt like I'd cracked open my fortune cookie and found a treasure inside. Today, I ranked at the number 10 spot on leaderboards on the all-time black card sales just 5 months later after the first breakthrough moment. All I can tell you is that I've never had more conviction on any business model or any opportunity in 25 years, not just for me, but for you. Why? Because I know the impact that my quantum physics training has on people's lives. And it's a $3,000 bonus that you get on my team when you're working with me personally as a black card member. If I can help people go from completely homeless to 6 months later having $20,000 a month, why not you? Now, this right here, guys, that's called leverage, because this is going to stay here, and it's going to, people are going to click on it. That's how I generate autopilot signups, from a story. Remember I was saying stories are what sell. It's the story, right? You take people through a whole emotional roller coaster when they read that, right? Does that make sense to you guys?
Yeah.
Okay. So, you know, what I would encourage you to do is start to, you know, be a little bit more creative with your campaign of what you're going to talk about, right? Because, you know, Jason, you've got some great data that's starting to come up with your blog, like X amount of visitors on my blog right now, right?
Yeah.
Those type of things, that's what gets people curious, right? When they start to see the activity that's going on in your business, because that's what people want to follow. They want to follow a leader, right? How are they ever going to know? How is anybody going to ever know, Jason, what's going on in your business unless you're the ambassador for it?
You have to share it.
They're not, everyone's going to know, right?
Yeah.
Right? Makes sense? Anyway, guys, I know it's getting late there, but hopefully you got value from this. You know, Sheldon, what's your takeaway from tonight? What's your big takeaway?
Well, actually, I always thought of doing the videos and stuff in order to you know highlight the business. Well, I highlight the business. Now, I have a mind has changed to the point that I realize that I need to develop me, right, in order for me to open myself out to the public, you know, so that they could understand what it is I could provide for them, right, so that they could benefit from the systems that we use.
Bingo. Okay. Now
Yeah.
I'm trying to, my eyes are blurry here. Is it Sheldon or Shelton?
Shalom.
Sheldon. Okay, I apologize. I'm looking at this thing, and I think I'm, guys. I think I'm at the point now where I almost got to get glasses, right? Because I can't see the two straights to see if there's part of a T there. Okay. So Roger, what's your big takeaway for tonight?
I guess my big takeaway is that I kind of weight get lifted in that I see that it a lot more simple than I had it built up in my mind. And also exactly what Sheldon just said. I mean, I need to develop me, but also while I develop in me, I have you and this team to leverage on in terms of business experience while I build in mine. So that, as you say, if I
Bingo!
yeah,
Bingo! Now we're talking.
If I could get good at the invitation, I think I should focus on that first, and then if I could assemble people, then I mean I think this will really kind of take off, as you say.
Awesome, man. That's so incredibly amazing that you got that. Phenomenal. Okay, Jason, what's your takeaway?
My takeaway basically, now I have a lot of things in my mind, especially with personal development and knowing that the business is me. And now I have a very good idea how to approach even members of my team with webinars and hangouts. I can start to do a little more of this and actually start to encourage them to get them to realize that you are the business, you know, and because most of them struggling with the same thing like Roger, you know, time and different things, and they make it so difficult when you break it down to make it so simple, and then they can actually realize, hey, understand, and look at it, also for them to look at the unstoppable vision and let them get that mindset and let it start to branch off and bring that reality closer to themselves. Because right now, most of them, reality is far from them. It's just like, it's a dream right now. So it's great content, Darren. Thanks very much.
Awesome. Well, that is great news. I feel like I have had a great success here with you guys tonight, and I can tell you that if you break it down chunk it down, guys. Okay? Make your first commitment. Just figure out what you want and why do you want it. Step one, right? Step one. What do you want? Why do you want it? Now, there's two areas to that. One is going to be your reality with your family, right? So you've got health and fitness, right? Which if you don't have that, you don't have anything. So you've got health and fitness, you've got family and relationships, you've got spiritual and emotional, you've got career and travel, you've got you know, materialistic things like a home or car or whatever, and then you've got contribution, giving back, and making a difference, right? 6 categories. You just got to figure out what you want in the categories, guys, right? That's what I talk about that in my Unleash the Alpha Within series, right? So what I will tell you is that step one is to get clear on what you want, right? Why do you want it? And then the next step is to start to invest into the business, okay? Because here's what I will tell you guys. Everything that you do around your marketing really has to do with breakthrough. It has to do with mindset. It has to do with personal power. It has to do with stepping into your leadership. That's the business, guys. When that happens, your income goes like this, literally, like a rocket ship, okay? So that's how it was possible for me to start the business and get to 10K in 30 days and 50K in 90 days, because I understand what this stuff has nothing to do with the Empower, has nothing to do with iPass, right? They're just going to be sending the checks. What you've got to understand is as you work on the business, right, then you get to have more what I call special sauce, right? Because people want what you have. Make sense? Make sense, guys?
Yeah, I like that too, special sauce.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Right on. Okay, guys, great night. I'm glad we had this time to connect here, and this will make a good rebroadcast that everybody can use on the team. So you know, we'll get something scheduled. Stay connected in the group. Keep in mind, the more connected you are to the pulse, right, on the Empower Hour, on Tactical Tuesdays, if you can connect to that, it's just going to morph into you, right? I posted somebody's video there in our group today for a reason, guys, because that guy right there, a couple of years ago, was bankrupt. In the last 4 months, he's made $100,000 with Empower, 100 grand. In the last 2 years, he's made 200,000. He just cleared the $200,000 mark, and just a couple of years ago. They lost their restaurant, and they were completely flat broke. That's how fast your life can turn around, right? Okay, so if you're just watching this on YouTube, you've got Darren Little here with the MLM Superheroes. I would encourage you that if you are at a point right now in your life and you are in a transition or you've reached a breaking point and you feel like you might feel like there's no hope, let me tell you this. If I can help somebody go from homeless and 6 months later they're having a $20,000 month, why not you? Why not you? So click the link below and just take action. Whoever's sent you to this particular broadcast, they obviously care enough about you that they want to help you to have that breakthrough. So click the link below, take action, and we'll see you on the other side. My name's Darren Little from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. I look forward to meeting you in person one day, and I look forward to seeing you at the top. Bye for now.
Okay.